Imagine London in the 1700s, dark alleys, pickpockets in the markets, and violent gangs ruling the streets. There were no police officers, no uniforms, no emergency number to call. So how did Britain go from chaos to inventing the modern police force? Let's uncover the story. Before the 18th century, law enforcement was patchy. Local constables and parish watchmen kept order, but they were often unpaid, untrained, and unreliable. In London, crime flourished. Robberies, assaults, and highwaymen made the city dangerous, especially after dark. The turning point came in 1749 with Henry Fielding, a novelist and magistrate at Bow Street in Covent Garden. Fielding was appalled by the state of crime in the capital. He and his half-brother, John Fielding, blind but famously able to recognize criminals by their voices, began experimenting with a new idea. They recruited a small group of trusted men to track down offenders, gather intelligence, and patrol the streets. These men became known as the Bow Street Runners, often called Britain's first professional police force. Unlike the old watchmen, they were paid for their work and operated under the authority of the magistrates. They investigated robberies, pursued highwaymen, and brought criminals before the courts. For the first time, London had a team dedicated to fighting crime. The runners became famous. They were sometimes nicknamed thief-takers, but unlike bounty hunters, they worked directly with the law. They introduced early innovations like crime reports in newspapers, publicizing stolen goods, and wanted criminals. They even used mounted patrols along dangerous roads out of London to protect travelers. But the Bow Street Runners were just the beginning. By the late 18th century, Britain's population was booming, cities were expanding, and crime was harder to control. Public pressure grew for a more organized nationwide system. That came in 1829 when Sir Robert Peel, then Home Secretary, founded the Metropolitan Police force in London. Based at Scotland Yard, this was the first large-scale uniformed police service. Officers wore blue coats and tall hats, carried rattles instead of guns, and patrolled the streets on foot. They quickly became known as bobbies or peelers after their founder. Peel's police force was revolutionary. It was built on principles still recognized today: crime prevention over punishment, regular patrols to deter wrongdoing, and accountability to the public. Unlike the old Bow Street Runners, the Met Police weren't just responding to crime, they were trying to stop it before it happened. At first, people were suspicious. Many feared the police would be like a secret army spying on citizens. But over time, trust grew. The force proved effective at reducing crime and keeping order in a rapidly changing society. Other cities across Britain followed London's example, and soon the model spread worldwide. So when you see a police officer today, you're looking at an idea that started with a handful of men in Bow Street and was transformed by Robert Peel into a system that shaped modern policing across the globe. The story of Britain's police shows how necessity, innovation, and even a little experimentation gave birth to something entirely new. From the Bow Street Runners to Scotland Yard, it's a history of turning chaos into order. So what do you think? Were the early police a much-needed innovation, or did they give too much power to the state? Drop your thoughts in the comments. And don't forget to like, follow, and share so we can keep uncovering more of the stories that shaped Britain.